Hi, my name is Ashish, and in last video we have configured network for VirtualBox, and in this video we are going to create virtual machine and will install Windows Server 2019 operating system with VirtualBox. If you haven't subscribed yet, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. At this point we have downloaded and installed VirtualBox. We have downloaded Windows Server 2019 operating system and we have created VirtualBox network. If you missed anything, please go through my old videos, link given in description. Also, you can check my videos at the end screen. Now the next step is to create virtual machine that we use everything we have created and downloaded so far to get started. Okay, let's get started. Open your VirtualBox and we need to click the new button to start virtual machine creation. You can also click on new under machine option. It's your choice. Once we click, create virtual machine screen appears. We need to click on expert mode at the bottom of screen, and that's because you are going to be an expert. It just makes it less screen, but we'll call you an expert. Okay, we need to type in the name of the VM, and I'm going to type DC01 because that will be my domain controller in the future. And you can give any name, it doesn't matter. It's not the actual name of the computer, it's just the name of VirtualBox inventory. Under machine folder location, by default it's a C drive. If you want to change it to some other location, you can change it. I'm changing it to E drive. Type, we are going to leave it at Windows. If you are presented with only 32-bit option but you are using 64-bit processor, that means you do not have virtualization enabled in your BIOS. If this is your case, then all you need to do is restart your host computer, go into your BIOS and enable virtualization. I can't tell you exactly how to do that because I don't know what kind of BIOS you have and all the menus are different. So Google the name of the model of your motherboard and how to enable virtualization. There is one more case. If you don't have 64-bit computer or operating system, what I recommended that you can create a virtual machine online with services like AWS, Azure, where you can remotely access your virtual machine and it won't be hosted on your system. I do believe you can get 12 months of free services and 200 USD credit for a month in Azure. Okay, now I'm going to choose Windows 2019 64-bit. If you don't have Windows 2019 option, it means your Oracle VirtualBox is not updated. No worries, you can select any Windows option and continue. Under memory size, I'm going to scale mine to 4 GB. If you don't have lots of RAM, let's say your computer has only 4 gigs of memory, that time you can lower it to 1. Under the hard disk, we are going to leave the create virtual hard disk now and we are going to click create. You might have a question, what does create virtual hard disk option do? The name says everything. It will create new virtual hard disk for your VM from your main system. I'll give you an example. Let's say this is my computer with 500 GB storage. This is my virtual system created on main computer using VirtualBox. So when we are creating virtual hard disk, that means we are assigning 50 GB storage from our main storage. Hope you understand. If not, no worries, you will get more ideas in the next screen. Now on this screen we need to choose the file location. We are going to leave this default. It's going to put it in the same folder as VM. Here we need to choose the size of the hard drive. Now I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 50 GB. Here I'll go with the default VDI hard disk file. So we have VDI, VMDK and VHD all support dynamically allocated storage. VMDK has additional capacity of splitting the storage file into less than 2 GB each, which is useful if your file system has a small file size limit. HDD, QCOW and QED have to be dynamically allocated if created in VirtualBox. Let me explain more about VDI. VDI is the native format of VirtualBox. Other virtualization software generally don't support VDI, but it's pretty easy to convert VDI to another format. VMDK. VMDK is developed for VMware, but VirtualBox and other common virtualization software also supports it. This format might be the best choice for you because you want wide compatibility with other virtualization softwares. Next is VHD. VHD is the native format of Microsoft Virtual PC. Windows Server 2012 introduced VHDX, but VirtualBox doesn't support VHDX. HDD, I think everyone knows about HDD. Next is QCOW. QCOW is the old original version of QCOW format. It has been suppressed by QCOW2, which VirtualBox doesn't support. Each of the format may have performance characteristics due to how the block storage is abstracted by the format, but I haven't found any benchmark comparing the VirtualBox supported format. Okay, let's move towards physical hard disk. Under storage on physical hard disk, as this is the most important option, I want to leave it at dynamically allocated. And what this does is, if you only have 10 gigabytes of data on your virtual machine but you still set the maximum size, virtual machine will take only 10 gigabytes on your host hard drive, not the 50 GB. So as you install program and as you install software, the hard disk file that is stored on your computer will grow. If you choose fixed size, then VirtualBox will create a file that is 80 gigabytes in size, even if there is only 5 gigabytes of data actually being stored on your VM. So I'm going to set dynamically allocated and click create. Now we can see that my virtual machine has been created. Now we are going to configure virtual machine and get it ready to install Windows Server 2019. To configure virtual machine we just created, first we need to connect VM to the virtual network, and then we are going to mount the Windows Server 2019 ISO file in VM. To see how to download Windows Server 2019 ISO and how to configure virtual network, you can check my last videos. Also you can check at the end screen. Till now, hope you have understood everything. Don't get confused. Be with me till the end of this video. I'm sure you will understand everything. Right click on VM and click on setting option, or you can go from here as well. Now we need to navigate over to the network tab by clicking here on the left. Now we can see under adapter 1 the network adapter is already enabled. Now this is not the same we have created. We need to select the drop down list and choose NAT network. Now here we can see the NAT network we have created earlier. Notice that I have only one in my list because I have created only one NAT network. It really doesn't matter at this point since we have only one virtual machine. If you have more NAT network, you can choose which is relevant to you. But if you have only one NAT network and you want to create more VMs, you can connect them all to the same network. Now click on OK. And now we have successfully connected our virtual machine to our network. The only thing is remaining is we need to attach the ISO we downloaded earlier for our VM, and then we can launch the VM and begin the installation. To mount ISO, right click on VM and choose setting. Select storage tab and click on the empty disk icon followed by the disk drop down list on the right hand side of the screen. Select choose optical disk file and browse to the Windows Server ISO. To see how to download Windows Server 2019 operating system, you can go through my last video. Link is given in description. Also you can check at end screen and select open. Now you will see the ISO is mounted to VM. Click OK to close the setting window. We can begin the installation to power on the virtual machine. Right click on the VM in the inventory and select start normal start. You can choose normal start as well, both are same. The VM will now begin to load Windows installation files. This shouldn't take more than a few minutes. Once the files are loaded, you will be prompted to select language and keyboard input method. I'll select the default option and click next. On the next screen, choose install now. You will be brought to the OS installation screen. Now if you have installed Windows Server 2012 before, you notice that unlike Windows Server 2012, there is no option for server with GUI or server core. Instead of server with GUI, we have now desktop experience. Now if you do not select one of the desktop experience option, then you can install what's known as server core. Server core is an advanced option that only allows users to interact with server on the command line basis. Now you might ask, why would you ever want to install server core? And the reason for this is that since there is no graphical user interface, the server is much more lightweight. Now, unlike in Server 2016 where the data center and standard versions contain the exact same sets of features, and the only difference was licensing capabilities. You cannot have more than 2 operating system environments. If you compare data center and standard versions, the first feature is regards to the storage. It includes storage spaces direct and storage replica. The second feature, virtual machine and host guardian service, which basically means more secure virtual machine with Hyper-V. The third is the new networking stack, which basically means better network performance. This is important to you to know because unlike before, where standard and data center were exactly the same, only limiting how many installation of operating system environment you could have, we are going to select Windows Server 2019 Data Center Desktop Experience. On the next screen, accept the license agreement and click next. On the following screen, you will be prompted for the installation type. If you already have one Server 2016 installed, you may choose upgrade. Since this is a new VM and we do not have Windows Server 2016 already installed, we have to choose custom installed option. On the next screen, you will be asked to choose where you want to install the operating system. If you have more than one hard drive mounted to the VM, then you will see them listed here. Note that it is possible to create partition which are subdivision of your hard disk by selecting the drive and choosing the new button and entering the size of the new partition. We no need to do this. If you want, you can format it from here. So just click the next and continue the installation. Now the installation of Windows 19 will actually begin. This install generally takes at least 20 minutes. So now it's good time to take a break and wait for the installation to finish. I'm going to speed up this video. I'll pause here. Once the installation completes, you will be prompted to enter password. It's very important that you don't forget this password. So make sure you write it down if your work policy allows, or memorize it and click finish. So here we have successfully completed the installation. You will be brought to the login screen. Enter the new password and press enter. After some time, you should see the Windows desktop. Just wanted to give quick review of this video. First, we have created virtual machines and connected it to the network we have created. Then we have mounted the ISO image that we have downloaded in the last video. And after configuration of VM, we have installed Windows Server operating system on top of virtual machine. Here you can see my old videos, how to download and install VirtualBox, how to download Windows Server operating system 2019, and how to create virtual network for VirtualBox. And finally, if you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel and sharing this video with other people that would benefit from this type of content. Thank you.